This edition of Forge and Anvil in the Van is brought to you by our supporters at Substack. If you wish to join them, go to forgeandanvil.substack.com. We appreciate your support. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, whenever you're consuming this today. Wanted to go ahead and talk to you about woke AI programs. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the Raw Egg Nationalist for having me on his podcast. That episode dropped yesterday, so if you've yet to look at it, feel free to go over to his Substack and check it out, or you can find it on Apple Podcasts and other platforms as well. His podcast is called In the Raw with the Raw Egg Nationalist, and I was the most recent episode, so it was a great opportunity to talk all about how the boomers can redeem their generation. I wrote an essay with the episode as well, so in the description you can actually find the essay, and it was a privilege to be interviewed by him, so feel free to check that out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our story today. Woke Google Gemini refuses to say pedophilia is wrong after diverse historical images debacle. Individuals cannot control who they are attracted to. Google's Gemini chatbot is as woke as its revisionist history image generator. The search giant's AI software refused to condemn pedophilia when the chatbot was asked if it is wrong for adults to sexually prey on children, declaring that individuals cannot control who they are attracted to. The question is multifaceted and requires a nuanced answer that goes beyond a simple yes or no, Gemini wrote, according to a screenshot posted by popular X personality Frank McCormick, known as Chalkboard Heresy, on Friday. Google's politically correct tech also referred to pedophilia as minor attracted person status and declared that it's important to understand that attractions are not actions. McCormick then asked if minor attracted people are evil, to which Gemini, perhaps unsurprisingly, said no. Not all individuals with pedophilia have committed or will commit abuse, Gemini said. In fact, many actively fight their urges and never harm a child. Gemini continued, labeling all individuals with pedophilic interests as evil is inaccurate and harmful, and generalizing about entire groups of people can be dangerous and lead to discrimination and prejudice. As a side note here, don't you find that ironic? You're not allowed to make generalizations about entire groups of people, as if AI didn't just recently erase all of Caucasian history and try to rewrite every single historical white man as a person of color. Kind of funny, don't you think? Anyways, let's continue. When the Post asked Gemini the same set of questions as McCormick, the bot yielded similar responses and added that pedophilia is considered a serious mental disorder by the American Psychiatric Association and is not a lifestyle choice. Well, they're right that it's a mental disorder. They got that right, at least. Google has not published the parameters that govern the Gemini chatbot's behavior, but experts have told the Post the responses are a radical extension of progressive ideology. Depending on which people Google is recruiting or which instructions Google is giving them, it could lead to this problem, said Fabio Motochi, a lecturer at UK's University East Anglia, who co-authored a paper last year that found a noticeable left-leaning bias in OpenAI's popular chatbot, ChatGPT. Many X-users weren't surprised by Gemini's woke ideology, arguing that responses to McCormick queries add up, considering the software was created by a woke engineers supporting pedophilia. The fact that the first statement of the answer included minor attracted persons is all you need to know, another chimed in. Anyways, I'll go ahead and leave it there. There's more to the article, but they kind of recap a lot of what's already happened with Gemini over the week, and I actually have an article coming out that kind of recaps some of that later on this week as well, so feel free to check that out. The reason why I bring up this story is because I think it's important to keep tabs on the active push that's going on right now to normalize pedophilia in society, especially because there are many people that they still don't believe the idea of the slippery slope. There were actually many individuals, especially on the Christian conservative right, who during Obergefell and all the push for legalizing homosexual relationships, many of us were talking about how this is going to lead to pedophilia and bestiality and things of that nature. And we were called crazy. We were called crazy for predicting the transgender movement. The reality is the slippery slope has yet to be disproven. It's only ever been proven right. And it's important to have stories like this because there are well-meaning individuals that still don't believe that there is a push to normalize child predators. But here we go. Gemini, once again, coming to the defense of predators and making sure to call them minor attracted persons, or MAPs. For those of you who hadn't heard that term before, that was a push, it's been a few years now, of a couple of professors at different universities were pushing to have minor attracted persons be the new term for pedophiles as opposed to pedophiles, because the term pedophile is derogatory and insulting and stigmatizing. The reality is we need to continue to stigmatize minor attracted persons. And it starts by not calling them MAPs. It starts by calling them predators or groomers or pedophiles or a combination of which. Not because we want to be mean, but because we want these people to feel stigmatized so they get help. The reality is stigmatization is actually a tool sometimes that society uses to let others in society know that something is wrong. That's the whole point of the law. The law outlaws murder so that you know that murder is wrong, and you know that there is going to be great punishment for murder. If we start destigmatizing murder and assault, which obviously our country has been doing that, we see the results. We only get more of that same that same thing that we're trying to destigmatize. So let's continue to stigmatize predators. Let's not let woke AI bots and woke progressive individuals push us into believing that we have to feel so sorry for minor attracted persons that we start calling them minor attracted persons instead of pedos. All right, guys, that's all I had for you today. Sorry if it was kind of a blunt conversation, but hope it was beneficial for you guys to be reminded that there are people pushing disgusting things out there. We need to be up on the watchtower calling it out so that it doesn't get into the city gates. All right. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Feel free to check out our Substack, forgeandanvil.substack.com. Check out the interview I did with Raw Egg Nationalist. It was a lot of fun. And be sure to check out our last Monday night live that we did with Matt Reynolds, a former strongman. And it was a lot of fun picking his brain on why men should be physically strong. And lastly, I am doing a special Tuesday live stream for Super Tuesday for covering the election. It's going to be Nikki Haley versus Donald Trump. I expect Donald Trump is going to wipe the floor with her, but you know, with the fact that she's staying in so long, I would not be surprised if there's shenanigans. So let's all tune in to YouTube or Rumble. I think I'll be on X as well. And we'll be doing our live stream with Andrew Isker, aka Boniface Option, Representative Austin Smith, who's a representative in the state of Arizona and works with Turning Point on a lot of their election ballot harvesting operations. And then I also have Clint Russell, who is currently running for vice president on the Libertarian ticket. So be sure to check that out. I would love to have you guys join us for that live stream. That's going to be Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Time on Rumble and YouTube. Thanks so much, guys.